And welcome to our show, Geeks Ride Podcast, where we talk about video games, comic books, movies, TV, technology, books, and TLDR, the Internet of Things. This week, we have Anthony.
Hello, everyone.
And Jordan.
Yep, that's my name. Or it could be Nadraj, depending on how you read. Like Da
Right to
Vinci
left.
style, maybe. Mirror. Yeah.
Arabic style. Or Hebrew. Both of them are left to right.
Right to left, you mean?
Whatever.
Because we read left to right.
Yeah, you're right. I'm not good with my left and my
You
right.
may, Anthony, but speak for yourself. I like to read English my own style.
Definitely my right.
But that's a cursive L. And that's L to me.
Yeah, to you.
So that means...
Here you go.
Oh, now my right is my left.
You know,
Wow. This is really great for the listeners.
I know.
people who
Yes.
read left to right are in good company because you know who else read left to right? Abraham Lincoln. He was a pretty good guy, I hear. So,
I'm pretty sure you're a pretty good guy. I don't know if he about your reading thing.
I'm just saying.
And we have Ted.
Actually, I've been going by the odor E lately.
Yeah.
Spell Theodore
How
out.
about Fyodor?
Theodore.
Fyodor.
The odor E.
The odor
please.
E? Okay, fine. The odor E.
The odor E.
And
Or it could always be the odor.
the odor.
Because that E is silent and emphasizes the
And
O.
eventually, will that translate to Hodor?
Thodor.
Thodor.
Well, we have an Anna. Let's just
Yeah,
keep
we
on
also have an
introducing.
Anna.
Yes, I'm here too.
You skipped Anna.
No, I didn't. You start. I said and then you started talking.
But you skipped her.
No, I didn't.
You jumped to Ted.
I mean, I went. So
you know,
I'm
for
going
our
left.
listeners,
They
who
don't
can
know
see-
where they're
Yeah, they
we're
don't
sitting.
know where they. Yeah.
Man, we're off to a good start this week.
For the listeners who are watching, their podcast players.
Still
they
makes
can
no sense.
See that there's numbers crossing. No.
Oh man, that letter's counting up. Or not letter, number. It goes from 0 to 9 and then starts over again.
Hey, when A plus 1 equals B, you know, that gets crazy. That's when it really the party starts.
We could post a photo of our podcast, right?
Yeah, we can also do video. If we really want to. Actually, that's what the Patreon's for.
Or we could do a Giphy.
Ooh. A Jiffy?
A Jiffy.
But we also have our Patreon.
You mean
What?
nothing?
Oh,
What about our Patreon?
Patreon?
We have it.
We have one.
Yeah.
We have a patron who helps to support us.
He's super awesome.
Yes. And you can support us because it helps pay for everything. Oh, look, there's the flash. And there goes the Luddite. Actually, the Luddite has turned his card back in.
Did you get a smartphone?
Yeah, it's true.
Yep, they hunted him down and told him to hand back his drawn piece of paper card.
His Luddite card. But
Yes.
he heard them coming. Here.
It was with much protest. I was coerced. It was because of my job. I had to,
Come on, you
Those
don't have a
dang jobs.
job.
and so I have to take pictures and drive around, and I get lost easily, and so GPS becomes necessary. So I'm no longer a Luddite. I'm hip with the times. I'm one of the cool kids now, unfortunately.
Could have got one of those Garmins that mounts in your car, but that's just as much as a cell phone anyway. So
Yeah.
Wait, how does that picture driving work?
No, it's the picture and the driving is independent of each other.
Oh.
I'm like, maybe it's like Google Maps
Yeah,
or something.
he is. He's driving for Google now.
Yep, that's true. I am
They had to
on
cut
the side of
costs.
the machines.
It could cost. Now it just takes Jordan with his cell phone driving down, holding his camera out his
Yes.
car.
And then they
It's
just
perfectly safe.
stitch
Yeah.
together with computers.
It's amazing what they can do with computers these days.
Or unless you do photography like Spider-Man does
I don't.
and photograph some cool superheroes or something.
I don't think that's a practical expectation, unfortunately. It's the world we live in.
The world in which we live, right?
Either way, we
All right.
live in it, and it's one in which we live.
That's true. I'm glad we had this conversation.
Are you a superhero not telling us?
Well, if I say yes, then that kind of
Negates it.
yeah.
Yeah, he can't actually say yes. It's like a paradox. Because if he says no, he'd be lying.
You know, this
Potentially.
sentence is a lie.
It's always been a lie.
Well, let's go back to the Patreon then.
Yeah.
Okay. Which is not a lie.
No. Which you can help support us and chat with us on Discord or even get the podcast early. And in a couple of weeks, we are going to be opening up a voting because we're planning on doing a debate. And you'll have to come back and listen to what that debate's going to be because that's in a couple of weeks. But that's where you'll vote is at the Patreon
Why
page.
don't we tell them what the debate's about? Then they can think about it and go, oh, man, I have strongly held beliefs about that.
That podcast type, yo.
Okay.
What's the debate about, guys?
The Dior.
I think the topic should be,
The topic was.
we hadn't officially finalized it, whatever, but the Jedi are a force for good in the universe is the proposition. And Bill will be arguing for the, what side, Bill?
The Rebellion?
The pro, you're
Rebellion.
in agreement with the proposition, which is the Jedi are a force for good in the universe.
Okay, wait. I thought you were doing the Rebellion.
Yeah, but it's
Hey,
the Jedi.
no, the
an
Jedi are
extension.
not the Rebellion.
No, I understand that. But the rebellion, the rebels, are still enforcing the religion of the Jedi. They're part of the old
Okay,
guard.
so is this about the Jedi or is this about the rebels?
Well, both.
Oh.
I know they're not mutually exclusive, but they're on the wrong side of history. So maybe we still need to hash out the exact.
I was under the understanding that you were arguing that we were arguing that the rebels are religious terrorists.
Yes.
You were saying they're religious terrorists.
and their religion is the Jedi religion.
Well, okay. So let me make sure. So the rebels are religious terrorists. Is your side?
They're religious zealots.
zealots.
Yes.
And I'm arguing that the rebels are not religious zealots.
Religious zealots forcing their religion on the populace. And you're arguing that I just got it all wrong. And yes, they're religious. They believe in the force being with them or whatever. But they were actually good for the universe and much better than that evil empire.
So, for listeners who are as confused as I am, listen in a few weeks and we'll define what the rules are to this.
Yeah.
But it's going to be Ted and Jordan on one team and Anna and me on the other. And we're going to change the introductory host.
How much does Anna know about
Anthony.
Star Wars?
Well, Anthony's going to be our host. He's going to be these are the time limits and these are...
I'm the moderator.
What I'm saying though,
I've watched some Star Wars.
we're
but
gonna have to sit down and make Anna watch the whole trilogy.
We already
now you have
discussed
something to
that
do
I
on
probably
Thursday.
know more about that than you do.
Yes, we have to discuss canon because I don't have time to read every single Star Wars book that's ever come out. I had
All right, so you've heard about PUBG.
Yes. Do you guys play PUBG?
PUBG.
I was a little confused about what the term meant because I thought it was like its own little thing, but then someone else mentioned it in reference to like Overwatch, and I'm like, I thought Overwatch was Blizzard, and so now I guess I just am completely ignorant about what PUBG
So it's a battle royale
is.
game.
Player unknown.
Yeah.
That looks like
Valorant?
Fortnite to me.
Well,
two.
there's two there. It says Fortnite battle royale versus player unknown's battlegrounds.
Yes.
Kind of wish they'd make a pug battleground. That would be.
Well, I
amazing.
guess you have to. That's your thing. You're gonna have to do.
Actually,
Please say
you
that
could,
exists.
it does actually in World of Warcraft.
You can get pugs to
Oh, yeah.
amass on a battleground.
Well, I mean,
It's
one
like
at a
Pokemon.
time.
Oh.
It's
You-
like Pokemon.
you
but,
get it-
WoW.
You get a pug. I don't know if they're available to
I got a
collect
pug.
anymore. I know I did too, but I don't know if they're still. Anyways,
You just got to run around.
You get a
under
pug
Garrison.
to. Not
That's how
for
you
the
get it.
pug.
Oh, no,
the
you're right.
pug,
No,
the
actually, I
pug
don't
was
have the
doing
pug.
the daily dungeon, or
You're
like
right.
just joining the dungeons, and
You're
if
right.
you did it enough, you got a pug for it. But you can make him fight other animals, including other pugs.
Mm-hmm.
So and he's super cute. Sometimes he rubs his butt on the ground, but
Oh, I got a lava corgi. That's what I got. I remember now.
All right.
so jealous.
So the argument is that PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds is suing Fortnite because they say they're too similar.
Okay.
I mean, aren't all third-person shooters basically the same game?
But this is a battle royale game. You know,
Oh,
PlayerUnknown was like the second one ever.
I'm sorry. I didn't realize that concept was only invented recently.
Yeah, apparently it was only invented recently. Apparently, battle royale games first started with H1Z1. Halo doesn't count. Call of Duty doesn't count.
Or Counter-Strike, or like, I mean, any of these games where like you end up with just one person left.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I mean, first-person shooters have been doing that as long as there have been first-person shooters.
Yeah.
They've got a game mode like that.
Apparently, PvPs don't count. At least under PUBG's argument. So they're saying that Fortnite is too similar to them, even though they're literally, Call of Duty with, I forgot the other one.
It's just last man
Well, it's
standing.
building. Well, except for it's also a builder game.
Yeah, it's a builder game, but you can hide. Pull
So
up
You
stuff.
can hide in builder games too.
I know.
Does-
That's what you literally do
I know.
in Minecraft.
I know.
You dig a hole and you hide
I'm not
until the
dis-
night
I'm not-
passes.
I am not disagreeing with you.
yeah, I'm confused because I mean, even builder games have been around since before Minecraft. Minecraft was just the most open to that point.
Well, they did a really
Right?
good job at turning Lego into digital.
Well, I mean, it's just basically SimCity with less
Yeah.
With only one
pre-made
person.
structures for you.
And there's only one person. Before villagers, at least. But yeah. I don't know.
I
too
don't
much
understand
about
the
it.
argument.
Okay. I just wanted, that's
Yeah.
happening.
It's
It's
happening.
been going on for like the last month. I
Mm-hmm.
waited to talk about it, but it's still
Kind of confusing.
trying to go on.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking they're just. I feel like it's like Microsoft suing Windows over the trash can.
Microsoft suing Windows.
You mean Apple?
No, I mean Apple. Macintosh suing Windows
For the trash can?
for the trash can.
Hey, that trash can was revolutionary.
I think
It was on Linux.
I think Microsoft should sue Apple over the middle click, or the right click actually.
Over any button but one.
Yes.
Hey, one button that rules supreme. No, it doesn't.
Wait, does that mean that Commodore could come back and they get to sue Apple for having buttons?
Yeah. Yeah. There's a point where like you need copyrights to make sure that like when someone gets a good idea that they can own it and they can profit off of it so that people will actually come out with their good ideas and do stuff with it.
Mm-hmm.
But there comes a point where you've just gone too freaking far and you got to stop it. And I think that patents and things like that tend to, I guess this isn't really a patent issue. It's more of a copyright, which isn't the same thing, but intellectual property stuff. But it just goes too far. It's ridiculous.
That's something. We talked about The Sims. So, Charlie Brooker, the creator of Black Mirror,
Okay.
says that the USS Callister episode is realistic because all people tortured their Sims. And apparently if you say you didn't, you're a liar.
I never played SimCity.
No, The Sims, not SimCity. You could have played Sims in the city, but that's a different game, technically.
Explain what you mean by Sims then.
Sims
It's
says
the
people.
game. It's The Sims.
I know.
SimCity.
SimCity was
Sim
I
City-
meant I never played Sims.
Oh, okay.
That's what I meant. Sorry.
Yeah, he's including everyone who actually had the game and had Sims to torture, I'm guessing.
I said I did torture my Roller Coaster Tycoon people.
Oh, there you go.
That's a fun game.
So you
Oh yeah, absolutely. I
Have-
tortured them. I I set up elaborate scenarios where I'd get the spouse to engage in various romantic situations and have the husband or wife and children catch them in the act, as it were. And yeah, I doubled down on that because they were not apologetic at all. They just kept doing it. And various other...
The simple life of a sim.
Yeah.
Anna, you played the Sims.
I did play Sims.
Did you torture them?
I don't feel like I tortured them.
Did
but,
you ever
like,
lock them in a room without a door?
No.
Okay.
Like I guess I play it differently than everybody else. I try to like meet the goals, like go to work and
even the old ones, where the goals were very less than they are now. Like now, the modern ones have lots of goals in comparison.
however, I like even though that there's like differences in the goal.
Place on
Out
fire.
of curiosity.
Not necessarily. Sometimes it just happens on its own.
Oh, and you're like,
And-
oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, I'm like, whoa, that's
So,
cool.
so you didn't torture them, but you weren't appalled when something bad happened to them.
No, I wasn't appalled.
So you never deliberately designed out of curiosity a situation that may, in fact, imperil potentially your sim?
Like purposely.
It's like, I just wonder what would happen if I
Like
did
caused
this.
a random fire or
I guess
an earthquake.
I
or
guess
something.
the worst that I probably did in my games was like make it so that there's no toilets or something.
That's torturing them.
Yeah, you've tortured them.
There you go, Ted.
They have to go to the bathroom.
I have played The Sims, and I can guarantee that I've never tortured them because I got bored after about 5 minutes and stopped playing.
All right.
Like I didn't play long enough to torture them.
Yeah, I think that would lump you into the Anthony category as a non-player.
No,
Yeah.
Okay, let me rephrase. I haven't played Sims. I
He's
have
played
played
Sim
lots
City.
of city skylines and stuff like that, though.
and Tycoon and all that.
And Tycoon. And you can, quote unquote, torture the people there by causing like natural disasters and stuff like that.
Oh, you made the natural disaster.
Yeah, I did.
I will say
It's
this
fun.
though. I never tortured them because I didn't really get into the game, but I would have.
Well, at least you're honest with yourself.
Cause like I would make SimCities. I'd like spend hours and hours and get it like really good and make big and like get the megatropolis. And then I'd just open the natural disaster window and start sending like 4 natural disasters at once and then rebuilding. Like that was what was fun to me though, was
Yeah.
like rebuilding after.
It's fun seeing your sim break down and just start sobbing from the sheer terribleness of their life that you've inflicted upon them.
Actually, SimCity was a lot of fun with that, though. I mean,
Oh, she destroyed
I
cities.
actually did play SimCity, and like when towns just go to it's a lot of fun though.
Yeah.
Like, and your mayor or like whatever you do has to go in and improve it.
So, Bill, everyone who could torture their sims has, at this table, tortured their sims.
Wait.
Except,
What about you?
yeah,
Have you played Sim?
Yes, I played lots of.
Did you ever torture them?
So, like,
Okay.
like how Anna started,
Yes.
I would go through the story and could do the mundane things. I literally spent like 8 hours just playing The Sims, telling them go to work, making sure that
Yeah.
I made them safe by installing the smoke detectors. Yes,
We're building up to it.
and I never tortured them.
not even once out of sheer curiosity. No removal of toilet.
Like, you never wanted to see how the city could recover from a random fire?
I hated it when it naturally happened.
never.
Well, that's why you save and load again.
Oh,
So
I
you
never
never.
Yeah, does it count if you saved it prior to doing it and then loaded it?
It
I mean,
counts.
Yes.
Bill's probably slightly better than we are. Maybe
So-
we're just horrible
So
people.
you never
which also-
denied them a meal or anything at all. You're always working your absolute best to give them the absolute.
Okay, no,
pleasure
wait.
of life.
No.
There is a difference between forgetting to feed them and purposely not feeding them.
That's
There's
what
a
I'm
big
suggesting.
difference.
It's like not once did you just go, maybe they don't need this meal. I'll see what happens.
No, I didn't decide not to. I would try to build them up so they. The idea, I guess, was I think that the idea of AI kind of also interests me. If I can train you to do these things on your own, you can become a successful sim. Maybe that was just the idea. I wanted these sims to become a successful AI, I guess. I don't know.
So if we ever have an overlord, Bill should be the overlord.
Because I'll be fair and just.
No,
I see
here's
where Bill's coming from on that though. That's why I would just fulfill the goals, beat the game and actually fulfill what you
In
need.
the old games, it was the goals were minimal at best.
so I don't think I would like Bill to be an overlord.
Overlord.
I agree.
Because he would be benevolent at first, right?
Do you think
But
ultimate power
I think
ultimately corrupts?
eventually you would get bored and you'd start to get jaded and twisted, and then you'd just start doing all sorts of horrible stuff.
There's a couple of things you could do. Either he gets bored, or he does jaded and terrible things, or he just lets it run its course.
I hope that I have set things up properly, that people will lead themselves.
No,
You
I-
seem
Kazi.
very goal oriented. What if the objective in Sims was not to do well by them?
That's a
but
different story.
would you follow the goal if it
Yeah,
said,
would you play the scenario that was make 5 ghosts? Have you played Dungeon Keeper?
Actually, you can make ghosts and still be benevolent in The Sims. You let them age to their natural death.
Oh, so you let them die of old age.
Well, I'm sure if I could have saved them, I probably... Well, actually, I never played that Sims. Let's go with that. I
But
know that you could have ghost Sims, though.
Do you follow along with goal objectives, or objectives that state that you must do something that is discomforting to your digital personas?
Dude, and this is going to go great into this next step. I didn't blow up Nuketown. Along with that, we're going to move into E3 in Bethesda.
Oh yeah.
We're going to start with Bethesda.
Okay.
Fallout 76.
Can't wait to not play it.
Go
I'm
on,
surprised you're not.
No, it's online only.
No, it's not.
Way.
No,
Yeah,
No,
it's-
you can do single instances.
Yeah,
You
online.
can run... Well,
it says-
do you have to run a server?
No. They used to run the servers.
But you can do single instances with just you and your friends or whatever.
No
That
friends.
would probably still require the
No.
same thing with
I
Doom.
read. I had read.
No, I'm saying.
Well,
for
Doom
me
3 you
personally.
can also do single instances, but it still requires a server.
You're still going online and playing.
Yeah, on Doom 3, you can't play offline. Not Doom 3, Diablo 3. Sorry,
But yeah. Oh,
yeah.
Dear listeners, think of a profoundly offensive profanity, and that is my consideration with regards to the concept of online-only games. Because no.
So I mean, okay, I'm going to agree with you to an extent though,
Okay.
because if the point of the game, like Overwatch, is just a deathmatch type game and there is no other content whatsoever, then online only is completely acceptable. For that
it's a
scenario, because
multiplayer only
nobody
game.
lands anymore. Nobody brings together lands and does that. At least not for the purpose of playing games.
That's acceptable
that.
for anyone who happens to be the audience. This is an acceptable situation for this particular audience.
Well,
I
no,
do
if
not
it's
count
if it's an
myself.
RPG like a Fallout has been, I actually was completely ignorant of that. But I'd read that you could have local servers or servers that just you and your friends could be in.
and I can see
not-
some of that because they've done that with Minecraft. They've done that with... they've done that with quite a few games that you could have your own...
I'm purposely
local.
not reading a lot about it because I kind of want to just
Well, I've
go
heard-
into it blind.
I've heard of the private servers too, but that does not have an appeal for me because it has to be completely immersive. There has to be a population of NPCs. It
Yeah.
has to be an experience that's crafted just for a single player for me to enjoy it.
So even
But
though...
what? Oh, wait. So let's say that the game is crafted in such a way that that you can play it single player. Let's say that it's Fallout 4
Mm-hmm.
completely. Did you enjoy Fallout 4?
I haven't played it.
Okay.
Well,
3?
great.
Did you play 3?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So let's say that it's Fallout 3, completely Fallout 3, but they add a multiplayer component to it, which you can choose to play, that other people will go through the quest. So like if you got a quest to do the Wasteland Survival Guide, you can team up with other people and do it cooperatively if you so desire, but you don't have to.
Well, yeah, as long as I don't have to see those players, like it's you can invite someone in on their game and they pop
Right,
in
and they pop into your instance.
Yeah, then that would be fine for me. But as long as there's the self-contained single-player game that you could essentially go through that game without noticing that there's a multiplayer component.
Right, and maybe some missions like are designed for 4 players, but they don't require 4 players. Like they're really, really hard for a single player.
No, they like I said, you can solo this game, and it's just like what you would any other Fallout game. But like Anthony said, it's like Diablo. It was an online game that had an option of multiplayer.
Yeah, I guess Diablo's another good example because people would just join your instance.
Or you could lock it up.
Yeah.
Fable, The Last Fable, which is another one that was talked about. But Fable, on online instance, there's a lot of everything is saved online, which also means you can jump from server to server. If you die, you're stuck. It's just like if you take on that Deathclaw. That Deathclaw is not going to chase you across the map and kill you again. You go back to your previous save point, and then you get to decide whether you want to try that again or not.
Yeah, and there's Mass Effect 3, which also had its optional online component. So I'm fine as long as the online component in no way affects the single player experience. It doesn't bother me. But usually,
like
that doesn't
if you
seem to be
have
the
to, if you
case here.
have to be connected to the internet to play it, and if you got lag, it doesn't play well.
Yeah, that would be a problem.
That would piss me off. That's where I have a
Which
problem.
is how Diablo 3 was.
No, you could play Diablo 3 without...
Not Diablo 3. Diablo 3, if it was... like, whenever Blizzard was getting DDoSed, and people had hardcore accounts where if you died, that was it, and you died while they were getting DDoSed, they're just saying, you're dead, I'm sorry, we can't bring you back.
Well, that's because you're part of the master race. See, I was playing it on PlayStation 3, and so it was no effect or concern to me.
Okay, that one might be offline. I was talking PC. Because Diablo to me is a...
Actually,
PC
wait, you were playing on...
PlayStation 3.
And there was no online?
There's online,
I don't
but
have
I don't think it's
online
required.
connection.
I'm pretty sure you can play offline.
Oh.
It's pretty sweet.
I don't think it requires being connected to the server. It wouldn't surprise me.
So there's a lot of talk about that, about people wanting to do it. I thought you wanted to be in because back on that thing, I'm not launching the nukes.
Oh.
My server's going to be nuke free.
But this isn't...
Well, as in, not a single one's going to get launched.
You're not even going to do the mini nukes?
Okay,
The
those
tactical
you
nukes?
might, those people might do. But if you can keep a code, because you have to go kill a bunch of people to get the codes, and then put the codes together to get it.
So what you're saying is you're just going to go get one part of the code and never let anybody else have that part.
Get one part of code for each of the silos. There's multiple silos on the map.
What if you get a trophy for nuking? Would you do it for the trophy?
I have skipped plenty of trophies.
Okay.
He is not an achievement hunter.
So
I'm sure there's a trophy for blowing up Nuketown. I have no trophy for that.
the thing about games like Fallout is that they've got all these extra storylines that are available for different ways. So it's like reading a book and reading every possible version of that book at the
Like choose your own adventure?
kind of like that. So like when I play games like that, I tend to go the good way. So it took me like 5 playthroughs before I finally blew up Nuketown because, you know, I wanted to see all the other options that I had available to me for the other stories. But eventually I wanted to see what was going on in that tower that I just let the ghouls into most of the time. Right? Because I mean, there's and I didn't even let the ghouls into that tower like attack until I found out that even if you like made a peaceful resolution between the ghouls and the people in Tenpenny Tower, eventually the ghouls were just gonna kill everybody. Like so that from then on, I just would sneak them in the basement and do it that way because you got more loot out of it. But but yeah, I will play through just fine without having any issue with that.
Still, Bill, it's a menace. Online needs to go away.
Yeah, online only is a problem, especially for people with bad
Or
connections.
No.
Yeah, or no.
Well, no,
connections.
that's your choice. We pay for our supposed to be good internet.
Well, and I mean, I'm not going to pay what. So, internet providers that heaven forbid you actually use your internet, that pisses me off, and I don't subscribe to
That's
them.
okay. The internet for them has kind of been shoddy lately. Anyway,
I've heard that they were completely down for 2 days or something
Yeah,
like
they
that.
basically down.
Just wait. Net neutrality officially repealed. So hold on to your horses.
Oh no, Comcast has already said what the stuff they're doing. They weren't even hiding it. Where they were like, oh yeah, we won't do anything. They're like, as the countdown clock was happening, they're like, so we're going to do this and we're going to do this and you're going to hate us here and you're going to hate us here and guess what? You're the only provider. Have fun with that.
Yeah, it's gonna suck for you guys who do use the internet.
Actually, I did love the letter from Cable One that said, "We believe in net neutrality. We will not slow down your service." And stuff. It's like, great. You just have to provide it to me first.
They already slowed down your service when you used it. That was the big thing that they were doing to me back last time I used them. Is I use the service and they get to a certain point. I'd hit a certain level of bandwidth. Basically, noon it would roll over to noon, and then boom, they would cut me and slow me down.
Yeah.
Bill, I need to suppress my rage against online. Are you looking forward to Fallout 77, is it?
76. It looks really good.
It's the tricentennial.
Okay.
The tricentennial.
The tricentennial.
300 years of
300 years
America.
after the...
No, 300 years of America. 1776, 2076.
Yeah. Those of us in the room, we may we missed the bicentennial, but we may live to see the tricentennial.
What do you mean? I was around for. Oh no, I wasn't.
I was like,
I missed it. I missed it by 2 years.
Okay, I was like, I know you're old. I didn't think you were that one. But we and maybe listeners may survive the tricentennial.
Yeah, I just remember when I was in high school or when I was in grade school, seeing a whole bunch of stuff about the bicentennial and people being excited, and learning what bicentennial meant when I at a really young age. But then I had to think about it for a second because 78.
6.
I know. I was born in 78.
Okay. I was like
2 years.
So 2076. That's when the vault. It was to save America and everything. So this is also the first vault that opens. These are the people that are supposed to
repopulate,
go out and start prepping everything for everybody.
So this is before the first Fallout game, then?
Yes.
Nice. I did, like I said, I'm trying to go into it blind, so you're kind of screwing me over right now.
Sorry.
But I mean, it's all right.
Okay, real quick.
It's all right, though.
Less of the spoilers on it for you. Yes, I'm getting it. Yes, I've already signed up for the beta, which is going to come out sometime.
On what?
Xbox users get first access to the beta, according to the video that I watched.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
I did not hear that one.
Yeah, that's the video I watched on Facebook. At the very end of it, it was Xbox users get first access to beta.
So what one?
Well, actually, right now they haven't even announced a date.
I thought they said November 2018.
That's the release date. That's not the beta date.
Yeah.
So PC, you said?
I got it for PC.
Master Race.
Well, I have a mini nuke over there full of the Fallout games.
Yeah. Okay.
But so you can either buy the game on Amazon, the only way to get in the beta is to buy the game. You can buy the game on Amazon, which pay it all front. Buy the game in, wherever else. Probably have to front all your money. Or you can go to your local GameStop and say, here's $5. Reserve the game and either actually buy it through them or buy it through somebody else.
And never buy it.
Your options. But then you get into the beta, because you do get the beta code that way.
Oh, you get the beta code by pre-ordering it?
Yes.
Oh.
Gotta say,
fascinating.
Same thing as how it worked for ESO.
Oh.
Oh, yeah, I wasn't involved in that.
I was super involved in that one, too.
You know what game I'm excited for?
What is that?
Last of Us 2.
Oh, actually,
RoboVDino.
Hey, that is about time.
Yeah.
Yes, Alex has been working on his game for RoboVDino. What is it, the 19th
I think he said the 19th.
of June?
Yeah.
So depending on when you're listening to the podcast,
It may already be out.
it may be out. It may be on its way out. But it's a Tuesday. It's a good release day. And he says he's busy on some stuff. He made a little short stint in his
Advertisement for it.
advertisement for it. And you get to listen to it for the very first time here.
Hey listeners, do you like party games but wish you could cooperate with your friends instead of beating the pants off them all the time? Or if you're like me, losing? Get ready to throw garbage at dinosaurs. RoboVDino is coming to Steam and itch.io June 19th for Windows, Mac, and Linux. You and your friends collect trash, throw it at dinos to knock them out, pick them up, and then throw the dinos into the goal to keep the clock running. But you have to be quick. Dinos wake up and chase you down. RoboVDino is great for players of all ages and skill levels, with intense arcade action for 1 to 5 players. RoboVDino comes out June 19th for $4.99. But if you buy it at launch, you get 15% off. That's less than a cup of coffee to throw garbage at dinosaurs. Add RoboVDino to your wish list today and get notified the minute it comes out. Visit Steam and search RoboVDino. That's RoboVDino and add it to your wish list. Or visit RoboVDino.com for more info. Thank you. Now back to your show.
And that was it.
That was good.
Hopefully you enjoyed that.
Yes.
I liked it.
So, and we all listened to it. So, let's see. I gotta write down that stuff too. But
You're ruining the illusion.
I am ruining the illusion behind the curtain. Do not look behind the curtain.
Not if you cut all of this out.
True. Absolutely correct. But, we do it live. So,
Do not say it. Otherwise, we'll have to write another thing down.
I don't know what you're talking
All
about.
right, good.
stuff and things.
You're stuffing
I'm
things?
excited for that, but I don't have much more to say about RoboVDino. We talked about it a lot, and I'm excited for it to come out. But I will be buying it for all my Steam friends. But there was something else I personally wanted to talk about,
Well, what'd that
and
be?
that's how Russia is going to knock out all our satellites with a giant laser. Excuse me, they are building a laser to shoot out space debris.
Yeah.
And it's going to end well.
So, okay.
So I read a couple things. I read a couple articles about this today, and
So are they going to add more space debris than what we already have there?
that's the
The
thing.
U.S. added a lot of space debris.
Well, there's just a lot
Lots
of
of space.
There's a lot of space debris. There's a lot of debris up there, and something needs to happen with it. And there have been a lot of suggestions about like nets and harpoons and just all sorts of stuff. But so far, nothing's really worked super great as from what I've read. And so the idea with the laser is that they could it's not designed to destroy the debris. The purpose of the laser is to modify its trajectory so it comes down, like it enters the atmosphere
So
and
it'll
breaks
burn
up.
up and
in orbit, but not from the laser. And I don't fully understand any science there because it's just photons, I thought. But I don't know how that would work exactly.
Photons have
It can heat
momentum.
stuff up.
Is it going to push something?
Yeah, photons can. They do have momentum. It's,
Yeah, they do.
That's what
And
Einstein
also-
So
discovered.
you've heard of sails on satellites, right?
Well, the
Like
solar
sails.
sails.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
The
It's just
solar sail
photons.
is it photons
Yeah.
that's actually pushing it?
It's
I
just
guess
the solar wind.
I guess when there's no resistance,
Yeah.
it makes it a lot easier
Yeah, it
to
does.
notice.
There's more resistance in the atmosphere, but it's really
Well,
low.
once you change the trajectory is the point. So
But lasers can also heat stuff up, can't they?
yes, so
Yeah.
you could heat stuff up, and the heat of the one side with the cold of the other could actually
Would
cause
tilt
some
it and
change
then
or-
maybe cause
perhaps, yeah. I didn't read too much into that, but it seems like their whole plan is just to get space debris. But it really, honestly, like the more I read on it and stuff, it just seemed like Russia was like, we're gonna get this, and then maybe we'll shoot your satellites out of the space if you make us angry. Maybe not. So it seems like that might be the next like type of space race, like satellite laser, like anti-satellite lasers and anti-laser satellites and just all sorts of fun stuff there. So
it'd be ground-based though, right?
Yeah. From what I can tell,
doesn't violate anything currently.
Probably what would happen is it would go up and it'd hit a satellite that would reflect off of the satellite and then hit it that way. So they'd have like a big mirror up there or something that could actually focus it and aim it from orbit.
Oh, that one I think would break treaties if they were to design it like that.
I mean, if they're shooting down stuff, they're already...
I know, but...
They're already engaging in acts of war.
But if they're shooting down stuff, their entirety... It's like pulling stuff out of the ocean and setting it on fire type of thing. Or it breaks
Don't
trees,
we already pull stuff out of the ocean and set it on fire?
Yeah, so...
Isn't that what oil is?
Isn't that... But is that breaking treaties?
I have no idea what the treaties or laws are regarding space or...
Yeah. Well, I just know with space, like everybody signed a treaty saying we weren't going to weaponize stuff in space.
Yeah, but people weaponize everything.
But yeah, Star Wars still happened.
Did Star Wars still happen?
A long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. A bunch of religious zealots decided to do a terrorist bombing.
Other podcast. Save your material for them.
I'm just saying.
No, it really did happen though.
May the force
if it wasn't it was... Well, supposedly it wasn't it. But I'm fairly confident there's still a lot of stuff. How well it's used is the other stories.
All right.
Well, I mean, we've definitely put military satellites in space and spy satellites and things like that. But I don't think we've
supposed to be like weapons, like missiles
to stop,
and stuff.
because nukes go.
Well, the point was to stop missiles, stop nuclear missiles from landing somewhere. But
and if you believe that you could stop all the nukes coming to you, then you might be willing to push the button. Yeah, that's the other reason for the not doing it.
Oh,
so if everyone was vulnerable, you won't push the button. Nobody would push the button.
Actually, I read it was a YouTube video about it's a channel that does comparisons of movies versus books, and it was talking about Dr. Strangelove, which if you haven't watched it is just an excellent movie. But the book, so the movie is very has a very comedic tone set to it. Gene Wilder and Stanley Kubrick. I think Gene Wilder was in it. Anyways.
No, he wasn't.
Was it not Gene? Well, Stanley Kubrick. It's a Kubrick movie, but I don't know why Gene Wilder came to mind. I don't think he was in it.
No.
Anyways, the book has a very serious tone, and the movie is a very comedic tone. And they make like the general that's causing all the problems seem like an absolute lunatic. But it actually the themes and everything stayed really close to it, which was we can save humanity by destroying humanity, basically.
Well, there's a lot of that. Yeah, Thanos had a thought for that too.
The same, yeah.
Such
and it was a snap.
Thanos was right.
He was right. He didn't think what would happen after he snapped his fingers, and then people were like, well, we might as well start repopulating, and then he just every 500 years he just has to keep snapping his fingers.
You think it takes 500 years? I don't know.
Well, for half the population, I mean, because if half the population's gone now, within a generation, you've got half the population back, because that's how our populations typically work.
Half of the population.
Well, technically. No, your population is doubled.
You think it would,
within a generation, it typically doubles. Or more, depending on the population. However, the problem...
That's crazy. It was 50 years. So what was the population? So we're
the way
going to
Earth
say
is
that
now, I think that's
It's more than doubling. It's
not. It's way more than doubling.
But so the point is...
slowed down since.
The point is that if you can deal with population issues instead of doing what China did and saying you only can have one kid... you can deal with them just by putting strong incentives for your population to wait to have children
until they're a certain age.
And they're like their mid-30s or so. Yeah. And the mathematically there's a number there's an age that will keep it stable, that if everybody held to it would keep the population stable unless they had
assuming
a ton of kids. But even then you can't have kids. Like, it's not feasible to have kids past a certain age, so it wouldn't even matter.
So let's just go with this. We hit 6 billion worldwide population in 1990. That meant we went from 3 billion to 6 billion in 39 years.
Basically, the chart we're looking at 2 billion when the world population, like in 1927, the world population was 2 billion. The time to add 1 billion at that point was 123 years. By 1960, we were at 3 billion, and that had the time to add 1 billion was down all the way to 33 years, and then from there it just kept going down.
Right.
Up until
but I mean, you look at doubling. So it took like 120 years to double, right? So go back up to the first one.
It's not quite exponential.
No, so it took it. 1804 there was 1 billion people. 1927 there were 2 billion. It says 123 years, right? Then you go from 2 billion to 4 billion. That took like 57 years, right? 1927 to 1974. So 47 years.
What website are you looking
Oh,
at?
that's what you mean.
But at the same time, like wars and famines and
Which we haven't
genocides.
Had. We've had famine. But
have occurred between 1927 and 1974. There's some really big world wars in there and events.
Actually, there was only one.
World War One.
1927.
No,
to
1927.
When was World War One?
It was in the 19 teens.
Was it?
Yeah.
I'm not good with history.
It's like 1917, I think, is when it ended, or that may have been when it started. It's one of those.
It started in 1914.
It ended in 1918.
All right, I was close.
It was the teens. You said teens.
Yeah, that's good enough.
Right.
You're right. Yeah. So you have, and then 1974. I mean, you're still having a lot of wars going on, and
there are some wars, but
going on.
At least it's not world wars.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, we have been at war since 2001,
and back also back on the nuke idea, because of the invention of the nuke, deaths in a war has actually tremendously dropped.
It has
tremendous. For multiple reasons.
The most devastating weapon has actually led to the longest period of stability in the history of history. But don't worry.
Yeah,
we'll have another.
The world will take
devastating
care of it.
world.
Mother Nature does.
The world will be fine. Probably better without people on it.
Can we go back to talk about E3?
Yes. Well, unless.
Fine. Unless you had.
No, I didn't have too much more to say about it. I always question motives of projects of that nature, where they're like, oh, this could be used to shoot out, just flying debris out there so we can make safe space here. But then you're like, and it wouldn't even need to be modified to start destroying our satellites.
Well, there's also a giant, mirror ball that's in space that you can literally watch it go through. I think we're like really close to Coca-Cola just throwing up a banner in space. Like, look, there's the Coca-Cola satellite.
There's the Coca-Cola ball.
Which
you could do that a lot easier with just a swarm of drones. Like, seriously.
But drones have regulations. Satellites have less to none.
Yeah, but it's way cheaper to get a license for a certain amount of airspace to advertise. And
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
I mean, they were able to do the Super Bowl with drones.
True.
And, I mean, they had to be pretty high up for that to be
cool.
Yeah, so, I mean, it won't take long before you can just get a swarm of drones to, put a banner up and blot out the sun.
Okay. True.
Anyways. So
plus, you get the extra bonus of being able to shoot the drones down and people not knowing where the shot came from.
Ooh. All right, E3.
Shoot drones down.
You know what game I'm excited for?
Which one?
Anna knows.
She's on her phone.
What? I don't know what game that you're referring to.
We were talking about it today. Spyro.
Oh, yeah, Spyro.
They're redoing the first 3 games in the series.
I love Spyro.
I watched someone play it. Like the first, one of the Toasty levels. So it's just the first boss in the game. They played that. And they played the flying level. It was all the first game, but...
But is it going to be one of those things where they have the same gameplay, but it's just pretty now, and so
you
play it for a little bit?
For example, in the first game, you had to free the dragons because they were frozen in the statues. And they all looked the same. They had custom dialogue, but as far as they all looked the same, they all had basically the same personality. They actually they didn't have to do this for this game, and people still would have loved it. But made all the dragons customized. They gave them all personalities. Like one is holding like a paintbrush and was kind of like all artistic-y. Like they just added little touches that they didn't have to add, but actually made the game quite a bit better. But overall, it's basically the same game. It's just pretty.
Yeah, I just think that like you played the heck out of it.
I'm gonna play the heck out of it,
and then you get it. You think you're gonna play the heck out of it.
No, I
and
did.
then you're like, it's boring.
When
now.
Crash came out, like they did the same thing with the Crash trilogy. Played the heck out of it. 100% at the second one again.
With one hand?
No,
loser.
All right, Ted, you go and buy a PS4 and play it.
So
buy me a PS4, I'll do it.
Huh?
No, he doesn't need to. He has, you can always go with an Xbox.
Is it on the Xbox now, Crash?
Oh, Crash. I'm thinking Spyro. Sorry.
They are releasing it for Switch and PC and Xbox.
Spyro or Crash?
No, Crash.
Spyro,
I think, is coming out on the Xbox One at the same time, though.
Xbox and PlayStation 4.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I think it's great. When you breathe fire on the grass, it burns, which is something that wasn't in the originals. Whoa. Yeah. Whoa. Yeah, that's all I have to say about it because I don't know anything else. It is coming out in September, though. I don't know if that was really announced before or not.
I've got a week of vacation time, and I've been thinking about what I'm going to do with it because I got to use it before December, and Anna doesn't have any vacation time. And I think I might just wait till Fallout 76 comes out and just take a week of vacation.
Hey, we can work together. We'll build up our house.
Oh, my gosh. We got to do that.
Yeah.
Oh, if it's early November, I'm totally doing that.
Let's see.
Last of Us 2.
So, did you watch the trailer for Last of Us 2?
I did.
Yeah.
I wish I did.
Okay. Until they announced that it was Last of Us 2, I thought it was Tomb Raider.
Did you? Why?
She's crawling around, doing her things. She pulls out her bow. She starts doing stuff like you did in that.
What kind of weapon are you going to have in a post-apocalyptic world?
Well, she had guns and bows and arrows.
I mean, yeah, but guns make noise. We all know that zombies hate noise.
No, they like it. They let you know where they are, where you are.
They didn't show any zombies, though. They showed people. So that's the other reason. It just felt like a...
Fair enough, but...
overgrown city.
That's how the first game was. It was all overgrown cities.
Yeah. And so it felt like it was a post-apocalyptic Tomb Raider. I'll admit, not bad. I just felt like it was that. But okay, so what you were saying.
So, it started out with a pretty amazing cutscene, which you have to appreciate Naughty Dog and their amazing mocap, I believe it's called, or is it modcap, one or the other. And so it's just a wonderfully presented sequence, and then of course the gameplay itself I felt it was astonishing just because of how fluidly everything was implemented, the enemies' reactions and everything like that. I believe that any other company that presented it, I would have figured it was totally scripted and it wasn't just something that
actual
came out.
gameplay.
Yeah, but with Naughty Dog, I mean, just the nuances of the interactions within the combat scheme were amazing. The incidental environmental interactions, like when you sneak up on someone and then you start stabbing them and then they throw you through a window. Yeah. It's very movie-like and very it is a totally cinematic experience.
I'll bet when it first started, I thought they were showing the room that everyone's in because Sony moved people from the Last of Us was the first one, and then they moved everybody to a different room. When they pulled back, the church tent scene was was pretty much the exact same thing, and I thought the graphics initially for far looked very, very good. When you got close to the people, it looked like CGI.
So I'm gonna put in some spoilers for the first game, even though it came out 4 years ago or 6 years ago.
Sure,
whenever the PS4 came out.
Oh, okay.
But right here, can you?
Yeah.
Highlight. I just want to be able to read it without. No. Right there. Yeah, that one. Okay, so it says here that the Druckmann? I think that's the
the director and writer.
Okay. He stated that this game will be centered around hate, whereas the first one was centered around love. Yeah. I'm kind of wondering if Eli kind of figures out that the guy lied about the cure.
I'm very sure that that's going to happen. It seems totally almost an inevitable
Did you play the first one at all?
No,
Do
actually.
you care if I spoil it at all?
Not at all.
It's
But
too late. You just did.
But you say
not
that,
really,
it
though.
reminds me of Resident Evil. They find out that there's not a cure and the zombies are still coming.
So there
And
was
it's
a cure
all
for
Umbrella Corps.
for this one. Like, so Ellie, I can't remember how to pronounce it. I'm sorry,
Ellie.
people. Ellie?
Yeah.
Yeah. She has, like, she got bit. And, like, where she got bit, it's, like, scarred and stuff, and it looks like it's infected. Like, it looks like she's infected.
Mm-hmm.
But she got bit about a year before the first game actually starts. And they are taking her to Salt Lake City, because where else is it going to be? The temple's there, too. It's kind of cool. But it's just cool because they put that in there.
It's always great when they do location games,
Yeah.
and they do a good job at
I wouldn't say it was
setting
good,
up the location.
but
Okay.
they had a common landmark. Anyways, they take her there because her basically mutated to where it just coexisted with her, and they wanted to try to get that to everybody as like a vaccine kind of.
Mm-hmm.
But in order to do that, they had to basically kill her and dissect her brain because that's where it mutated, was her brain. Oh. And she doesn't know that. She just went out. She went under, and what's the guy's name? Joel has a real internal battle on whether he wants to save her, and then he just grabs her. He goes on a murder rampage, grabs her, and then takes her back to Montana or Denver or wherever they were. And then she asks what became of it, and he had to decide whether he wanted to tell the truth. He didn't tell the truth. So he's like, "Oh, there's millions of you. They didn't need you."
Right. So she was doing that like it was a voluntary operation. She was trying to do a noble sacrifice because she knew.
Well, I don't think she knew that it was going to kill her. She just was going under to figure out if it was.
Well, I think she had she was pretty aware.
The possibility of her dying but this is a guaranteed her dying. That's a little different, right?
Yeah, I don't think that there was that distinction. I think that she was pretty sure she was going to die.
I don't think she was, but it's been a while.
Yeah.
But I think that's probably what the second game is probably going to be centered around. Which might be interesting. I was always wondering how that would play out.
You could be right, Anthony. I'm not entirely sure myself because I also have been a while since I played it's been a while since I played the game. But either way, yeah, it is clearly Joel. He, through totally selfish motivations, chooses to sacrifice the world for his parent-child relationship, that bond that he developed with Ellie, and she would not be okay with that. And he totally knew that, and so he lied to her. And it seems like too good to pass that up for a sequel. They're going to address that.
I think so. But that was all I wanted to talk about.
Yeah, that's an exciting premise. I think if they're proceeding, they are proceeding with the sequel. That is a cool concept to proceed because the first game was so great. It is such a great game that the idea of a follow-up is almost obnoxious. But if they do it right, and this is one way they could do it right, that would be great.
So Fallout 76 is supposed to come out November 14th.
You better hope that's not during a planning thing because you're not getting that week off.
Well, that's just 2 days. I can go back to work for 2 days and then come back or whatever.
Yeah.
Anyways. Yeah. Any other games you want to talk about? Do we have time? Yeah, we have a little time.
Oh, there's the Cyberg 2077.
Yeah,
that looks
Cyberpunk.
Good.
That looks really good. And like people are like, I've read some headlines. I try not to read the clickbaity like articles and stuff, just not to encourage that sort of thing. But there's some things that were saying like the gameplay isn't going to be what you think it is, but I don't care what the gameplay is as long as there's a good plot to it because that looks amazing.
I would just play it for the plot.
Yeah, I play games like that. I play for the plot more than the actual gameplay of it.
As long as it's not super clunky, at least.
Yeah, I don't see that. Like as soon as it's from the developers of Witcher 3, I was like, I'm going to give this game a chance no matter what. And then Cyberpunk, that's awesome. Yeah. Another Deus Ex, that would be great.
I just remember it being being like they basically made a teaser for it forever ago at one of the previous E3s. What was it, 2013?
2012.
2012.
Actually, now I'm looking at that.
No, and I was super stoked and excited for it.
The teaser trailer. Okay, so it was announced in May 2012, and January 2013, the teaser trailer was released. Yeah, so you're right.
Yeah,
you're
I
right
just
there.
remember like being super stoked about it, and then in silence, and then I was mad.
I think
Not
that's
quite as mad as with Half-Life 3, but
I think that's a good strategy. If you like
is.
for what they were doing, because they weren't exactly working on it, they were working on other things, and they didn't have a good
I'm
idea of
kind of
what's
of the
going on.
opinion that if you're showing something at E3, it should come out within the next year or so.
That's probably true. They probably shouldn't have showed it.
Yeah.
but maybe I don't know. It's hard to manage people's expectations because some people are just jerks.
Did Valve release anything at E3? I'm just waiting for them to just show a 3 and have people freak out, and then it's
Just
like
the
a
number
left
3. We're
Yeah.
at E3.
Or that, or like it's like a left 3 dead or something.
I imagine-
I thought Valve didn't do video games
Gabe
anymore.
Newell, I think he released the middle finger at all the fans. It's like, oh, still waiting, huh?
Officially,
Too bad.
no, Valve was not.
They're not on the list.
They're not on the list of stuff that was released. What I was excited about, which I kind of, because even though I talk about like Fallout, I love my PC games.
Mm-hmm.
I still like my phone games, and I tried getting into an RPG before, and I admit it was still.
It's
grind
hard to
and
do a
such.
good RPG on a phone. It really is.
So Bethesda said that the moment they saw the iPhone come into existence, they were like, "We should do something with this," and they finally did.
Well, they'd done stuff before. They'd created a Pip-Boy for Fallout 4. They'd done the Fallout Shelter
they did
stuff.
Fallout Shelter. And then,
So they've done
the card
stuff
game.
with it. They've done some
Okay,
interesting
but they
things
really
with the
want to go
phone.
this far with it.
What'd they do?
Elder Scroll Blades. This is the full-on role-playing game on your cell phone that you can play sideways or vertical. And he actually, so you can play with one hand.
So what does this game entail? Like, is it customizable combat? Is that the role-playing element, or is it interactive villages? And
Actually, it's cross-platform. You can play it on your phone and against somebody on iOS or Microsoft Windows.
Okay, but I
So-
mean, what's the
Oh,
game
you can-
itself?
What's the game itself?
Yeah.
Elder Scrolls.
Okay.
No, how Elder Scrolls plays.
Oh, okay.
So,
combat and stuff?
yeah, you have combat, you have spells, you have all that.
Interesting.
I'll admit, it doesn't seem as for a phone that what they showed it seemed could be, it's not as great as the PC experience, but for what it is, it's impressive.
So is there a
So-
massive world in which to interact?
Yes, and you will be.
Really?
You can. Here's another one. It's online. Sorry.
Yeah.
You can play with other players.
But you're
You can
playing
have
with PC players too, right?
Yeah,
That's
I know.
kind
Like I
of-
said, it's going to be interesting when this comes out. The beta, you can sign up for it. It's a free game. That's the other thing. Free.
it's free to play.
Free.
Okay,
I did see that.
wait. Is this related to the Skyrim A Very Special Edition? Did you hear about that? It was also at E3.
Oh, no.
It's not a joke. It's a real thing.
I mean,
So you
the
can
one
play
for Madame
Skyrim on Madame A.
or on Amazon's assistant.
Yes, it's a text-based RPG.
So you're saying that joke that they did was actually
It's not a joke. You can download it. You can download and play it on Alexa. Sorry.
ah.
I did
Never
it.
mind.
I tried not to. It's voice controlled, and you do it through your speaker and input, whatnot.
I eat all the cheese.
Yeah.
I know they announced Elder Scrolls
Yeah.
6, but
Let's see.
because they were joking around because he even introduced it, going like,
So
"What you all want to know is what we're releasing."
So you
Skyrim.
search for the very special edition on the skills, and you make sure Echo is connected to your Amazon account. You enable the skill, and then you just tell it to open Skyrim, and it will start there for you. And Alexa describes
Holy
what's
crap,
going
yeah, I
on.
did see that. I
Yeah,
forgot about that.
Alexa tells you what's going on, and you start the game. It's like a choose your own adventure or one of those old text-based
and
DOS
they have
games.
those. They have those already on it. They're not Skyrim, but they have.
Yeah, but this is I didn't know if this was related to that. It sounds like it's not, though.
No, it's not. No, Elder Scroll Blades.
No. Yeah.
It's on. You can play it on your phone. It's free. Yeah, I'm not saying it's the great, but it's a good idea, and it's good movement towards, because we have phones that are comparable to games that our phones could destroy some of the old consoles that these games have played on and computers. But here's like an image for those that are here in the room.
Oh, hey.
That's what it'll look like on the phone?
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
That's not bad.
So you have an interactive world. You have all this.
Online.
I know, online. That's what I said. I warned you. But you can play with VR if you really want to. So you can play against VR people and really...
See, that's a symbiosis that I could live with, like a virtual reality online ecosystem. I'd be okay with that.
Personally, I'd really enjoy a virtual reality office. So, like, literally just like you log into your VR, you put on your headset and maybe like gloves or something like that.
I still want full dive.
Well, but it wouldn't be necessary. You just need gloves to like control stuff, and then like. But I don't think you could have controllers. I think you'd need gloves or something.
Well,
that's
why I think full dive, because then you could have like a virtual office where people are still there if you need to talk to them.
Yeah, but then you could have your workspace. You could have as many monitors as you want, and you could like totally silence off anybody like around you.
Or be on a beach. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, so I could have my dark room in the basement, and you could be on the beach.
Yeah,
savage. And I think that would be awesome.
No, I think he's meaning the VR environment would be a beach.
Yes, no, I understand.
Oh.
But I think...
All right, weirdo.
You can't program on a beach.
Sure you can. You have your virtual computer.
You just simply haven't tried.
And
the beach would be too distracting. The point I'm trying to get at is I'd love it because you get rid of the distractions of your coworkers unless they actively tried to distract you.
Well, you can do the shut off, kind of like they did in the book in Ready Player One, where he's like... Or people are saying that their monitor is doing their things and they're just leave me alone zone.
I don't see what would be distract. Just working away with your files.
Yeah,
I'd personally
typical Jordan.
My environment would be inside of like on a rainforest, listening to the nature.
The thing is that I think I'd just be in like a basement. I'd hear like a drip of water every once in a while.
Something background noise.
Yeah, just like, but it would be like just the glow of the monitor, like a really low light situation, which is where I tend to do best, but you can't have that in an office.
Yeah, you'd have to have private office. All right, so we should wrap things up. And yeah, I found it, and it is by ZeniMax, so it is official. It's not just some random person jumping on trying to take advantage of it. So that sounds. I'm gonna try that out. That came on.
You should try that out now.
The reviews were kind of lukewarm.
Huh?
So
there's 180.
I don't mean like on the podcast.
Yeah. Well, okay. There's 180 reviews, and I got a 4.5.
Yeah, it's not great.
I'm not gonna say this is gonna be the Skyrim game of all Skyrim games.
Yeah, but
I'm gonna play with it. But we're gonna have famous last words. Anthony.
I'm terrible. Ted.
I'm Anna.
I'm ready to play Spyro the Dragon. I find it exciting.
Combo breaker.
Yeah, Spyro.
Yeah, Spyro. That's my last words.
Jordan.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean,
can I amend my last words?
Sure.
We should. I have on the show notes. Can we link YouTube videos?
Yes.
Okay.
Been there, done that. We'll do it again.
Okay, cool. You guys can see some cool gameplay.
All right. Been there, done that. We're doing it again.